Hi everyone, this is Adam from Adam's Canary Corner, and this is the third episode of our first season of this channel. Now today, as you can see, it's a practical session about adult canary diet, and we will have a short session later on down the track, hopefully when we have some hatchlings to talk about baby food. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of varieties of food here. We've got the main diet, which is the seeds. We have the soft diet, which consists of some ingredients that we're going to talk about in a second. We also have the fruit and vegetable. We have the supplements. We'll go through this in a second. So look, the name Canary. Canary is the small, beautiful colored bird that everyone knows. And the name actually Canary also refers to the main ingredient in the diet of the canary, which is the canary seed. Now, I usually buy my canary seed from a shop in Wetherell Park called Petcare 2000. And I'll put a link in the description after the video so you guys can know where to get the seeds from. Their seeds are very clean. I've used them for 3 years now. I find them excellent quality. I always smell seeds before I buy them, and they're always fresh, really good. And we will have a session later on as well, a very short video on a machine that I have and a lot of breeders have called a seed winnower, which is basically an apparatus we use to clean seed husks so we can reuse some of the seeds instead of throwing away everything. So, I recommend you grab a pen and paper because there will be some portions that I usually recommend in the seed mix, and I hope that I can benefit a lot of people with that. So the canary seed should represent 75% of the canary seed mix. Canary seeds, we use it throughout the season. Whether it's breeding or outside the breeding, molting, not molting, it's all the same. Has to have canary seeds. That's the main type seed that the canary love to have. I usually buy them in big bags like that because I do make a 4 kilo mix, and I'll show you the mix once we finish. So what I usually do I mix 2 kilos of canary seed or 4 kilo of canary seed with another seed mix, which is also very good for canaries. And I usually use it during the breeding season and also during the molt. And I also use it as a sock seed mix. And I explain to you why I use it later on, what I add to it to help the parents feed the babies. So this is what we call a tonic mix. It's from the same shop, Petcare 2000 in Wetherell Park. And what I do is I mix half a kilo of tonic mix with 2 kilos of canary, or 1 kilo of tonic mix with 4 kilos canary. That's the first mix that happens in this usually big bag. What I add to the mix then, I add what we call Niger seed. Now, Niger seed is a really good seed, has a lot of protein and good oils, and it helps with the health of the feathers of the canaries and also give them good plumage. So I definitely add a quarter portion. So if we have 2 kilos canary with, say, half a kilo tonic, I add quarter a kilo of Niger seeds to the mix. And of course, you double that by 2 when we go up in the quantity. So 4 kilo canary, as I said, 1 kilo tonic mix, and half a kilo Niger. What I add to the mix as well is Shellgrit. Now, I buy these Shellgrit from MacArthur Pets. This Shellgrit is very nice, it's very clean, excellent quality, very small, very easy to digest by the birds. And the moms, the females, the hens love having it before the breeding season and before laying eggs, during laying eggs as well. They actually purposefully go and eat from it before starting the laying the eggs and during laying the eggs as well. It's amazing. They actually feed the babies from it. I've seen it with my camera. Now, what I add from this, the same portion as the Niger. So I add 250 grams or quarter a kilo to 2 kilo Canary, half a kilo tonic mix, and the quarter a kilo Niger, quarter a kilo only. You go up in the portion as you double up with your Canary seed. I use this prior to the breeding season. I give them calcium prior to the breeding season, maybe around July, and then I continue throughout the breeding season all the way to the end of June or end of January or February. That's the end of the breeding season through the molt, and then I stop after that. So what we're ending up with when we mix all these seeds is, I'll just show you, we end up with this mix. That's a 4 kilo bag. Now this is basically a mix of everything. Now this mix, as I said, I use it during the breeding season. So I start in July all the way through the end of the molt. It's excellent, it's nutritious, has a lot of fiber, carbohydrates, oils, fat, and calcium. If by the end of the molt, so when the molt finishes around February, March, I turn the birds into Canary seed only. So I give birds only Canary seed for 3 months, from say April to the end of June, because the Canary seed provides essential nutrients without the added fat and the risk of weight gain. So we want to make sure that during this period, which is after the molt and before the breeding, the birds need to be in a good breeding condition. Don't put on weight. They exercise a lot. And the diet is more focused on fruits and vegetables and protein. So Canary seed only from April all the way to June, and this excellent mix happens between July and the end of the month. I do the mix. This bag should last me a few weeks. Then I make another bag. That's why for someone like me who use a lot of seed, I get a 10 kilo bag of this, and I get the small bags of the other seed mixes. Now this is the seed side of the diet. Now you can't just feed canaries seeds, because seeds basically not enough. In the wild, canaries also eat insects and worms, which they high in a protein. Now I usually don't feed the canaries worms. Just look, it's something that I don't want to do due to the I fear of risk of infection and things like that. So I keep it to the usual, the popular egg. So with the egg, there is a special egg mix that I do. And I want to give a special thanks before we continue to two people that have taken me as a friend. They're excellent canary breeders. They're famous. They're judges as well, and they won a lot of prizes. John Xuereb, which is living down south in Sydney, and John Palmano, who lives in Sydney. These two men saw the passion and the drive in me, and they want to make sure that this hobby continues into the future. They want to make sure to see a lot of people taking it as a hobby beside their job. And they used to work full-time. They've been breeding canaries for over 50 years, and their advice is much appreciated. I keep in touch with them all the time. I see them every now and then. I see John Palmano more frequently because he lives locally, and we try to visit John Xuereb every now and then and see him down south. So the egg mix, which is the protein diet, contains of the egg. Now the egg, what I do, I boil the egg for 15 minutes. Make sure that the egg is completely disinfected, no bad bacteria in the egg. So I boil it for 15 minutes. And what I add to it, now what I do is I use this nice little blender that I got from Kmart, and I put the egg in, process it, becomes nice and very soft and small. Everything with the shell. I use even the shell. The shells becomes really tiny, and the birds are happy to eat them. If they don't like them, you will see them at the bottom of the plate. They will not eat it. What I add after I mince the whole egg, I add a special mix that I learned from John Xuereb. And the special mix is basically a full spoon of this. The mix contains from 2 parts of oats, quick oats, and 1 part of weetbix. Oats and weetbix contains a lot of minerals and vitamins and fiber. Excellent for the birds. So I add 1 full spoon. Now a lot of people say no, you should use more. Look, I use 1 full spoon of this per egg, and that does the job. I mix it really well. And what I do as well now with the egg food, there is times when I only do it twice a week, and that is between April and June, and this is the slowest time of the year. The birds are just relaxing, they're trying to get some exercise, and they're just having fun and socializing. And I give them twice a week of this. I give them just a canary seed during that time. Outside that time, which is breeding season and molting, this mix and the eggs, I give them every single day. Now, every single day from the 1st of July all the way to the end of the molt. This is very important because, as we know, breeding and molting requires a lot of energy and takes a lot out of the bird's health. If it doesn't have a full diet, the bird will be sick and unwell, not sick, unwell, and don't have the energy to breed and don't have the energy to produce good quality feathers. So that's the egg mix. Now, what I also add to this egg mix, especially during the breeding season, I add my own mix, which I made myself, and it's basically almonds and walnuts. Now I crush it in a processor nicely, and they become nice small particles. Walnuts and almonds equal parts, and the almonds and the walnuts provide vitamin E, calcium, protein, and other oils that are excellent for fertility and excellent for egg and ovulation. So they're good for the males and they're good for the females. So definitely consider that. I usually use this spoon here, and I put 2 spoons per egg. 2 spoons per egg. I mix it all well together, and I give it to the birds every single day during the breeding season. You don't have to give it to them during the molt, and you don't have to give it to them during I call it the lazy time of the year, which is from from April to June. I don't give them that. They don't need it. They're not breeding. This is purposefully for breeding purposes because of its vitamin E and vitamin D and calcium and the protein and the good oils in them. So walnuts and almonds crushed really well, equal parts. Also, what I add to the diet, and everyone knows about this, and doesn't need any introduction, is cuttle bone. So cuttle bone fish, that's the basic calcium supplement. It's an excellent calcium supplement. I usually use it during the breeding season, and basically only breeding season. Once the breeding season finish, I take it out. But I also add to the cuttle bone, just in case the birds are not interested in eating it. As usual, we spoke about this. This is the Avione brand from MacArthur Pets. I use that as a calcium source, and the birds love it. Now, talking about calcium and vitamin D, I use a supplement that I buy from Petcare 2000. It's made by Paswell. I'm a big fan of Paswell and VitaFarm. So we will have a session talking about the medicines that I get for the birds for prophylaxis and treatment of illnesses. Prophylaxis means trying to prevent infection. And I use VitaFarm brand for the medicines, but I usually use Paswell for the egg and biscuit. I use Paswell for the rearing food for the babies, and I use Paswell as a red factor seeds. As you can see, this big bag here is made by Paswell. Vitamin D, calcium is made by Paswell, and the food for the adults and babies by Paswell as well. I love this brand, amazing quality, and I've used it for 3 years now. I'm not going to change it. And we'll talk about VitaFarm and the medicines they produce. And I buy these medicines and supplements from Petcare 2000 and also MacArthur Pets usually. Now the liquid gold, calcium, vitamin D, lutein for the eyes, manganese, magnesium, good for muscle and calcium. I use it twice a week throughout the year, and I give it to them every day when the females start laying eggs. When the females start laying eggs, I use liquid gold. The proportions are on the back. It tells you how much you put in water, and you give it to the bird in their drink. Now, when you give it to the bird for drinking, you don't use a bath, because the birds love the bath and they end up drinking the water from the bath and they don't get the supplement. So put it on its own as a drinking liquid, drinking water, and use it frequently, twice a week throughout the year, and every day when the female's laying eggs. Excellent quality, Paswell. Okay. And it's a local brand, Australian brand. We like to support Australian brands, and VitaFarm is also an Australian brand. And the medicines by VitaFarm are excellent. I've used them before, and I treated my birds, and they proved to work. Now, the other parts of this session is fruits and vegetables. Now, fruits and vegetables, I usually keep it very simple. Very simple. Throughout the year, no changes. The birds love it. There's no point to change. A lot of people use varieties of vegetables, varieties of fruits. Happy with all that, and whatever people like to do, I encourage. I also use one type of fruits and vegetable, and birds love it, which is the apple. Now, the apple, I use it once a week only. Once a week only, nothing else. Apples have vitamin C, potassium, all other, a bit of vitamins and minerals here and there, a bit of fiber, a bit of sugar. Apples, once a week only. You don't give sugar. Listening to the beautiful singing of the birds just makes me happy. Now, the other important part added to the fruit is the vegetable. Now, with vegetables, I use one amazing vegetable, which is the kale. Now, kale, why do I use kale? Because the beautiful kale is full of nutrients. This magic herb here, magic leafy vegetable, contain leaf fiber, contain lots of vitamins and minerals. It is so crispy and crunchy that my canaries absolutely love it, and they can't live without it. So I give it to them usually twice a week outside the breeding season, but I also give it to them every single day or every second day during the breeding season and the molt. Birds love kale. It's crispy. I swear, when I bring it to the room and I open the container, they see it. They all come from the back of the cage to the front of the cage, because they are in the hope that I'm going to give them some, which I do. So kale, very easy to get. You can plant it if you like, or you can buy it. Full-time worker, full-time pharmacist, I don't have time to plant these things. I do have plants. Usually I have the citrus fruit, and that's it. That's the main thing that I use. I plant in the garden citrus fruits and other succulents. So I don't have time for this. So I buy it from local sources, and they're really good. So look, I mean, that's the session today. It is an important session because it represents an important part of the canary's life and the breeding season. So make sure that you don't cut corners. Make sure you provide them with full diet, because this is the road to success when it comes to breeding. The females are ready to go. They are excited. They're getting to territorial actually, and they starting to fight with each other. Usually, females outside the breeding season, they're very social and very friendly with each other. Now they are starting to fight with each other, which means we are heading to the breeding season, the real start, which is the 1st of September next week. The males, as you can see, they're singing and they're going crazy. They're ready as well. Next session will be about nests and nesting material, where I get my stuff from. It's an exciting session. It's also a practical session, a shorter session than this one. But I thought I will make this session to give some ideas to people who are getting into the hobby and the beginners in the hobby, so they can have an easy start